Greetings and salutations, my friends. The match engine has many interesting facets about it. Overall, I think the match engine is exceptional. It's so much improved over the last... It feels like watching, for the most part, watching a game of football. I think they've done a remarkable... It's a very hard job to get the AI to look like a game of football. And it does, for the most parts. But there is a number of things that really annoy me. Some minor that just annoy me about the match engine. And I want to go through my top 5 and also encourage... I really would like some community involvement here. Not for algorithm reasons, don't care about that. But I want to see what your 5 are. Okay? So, let's get into it. Top 5 things I hate about the match engine. 5. So in at number 5, now this used to be more of a problem than it currently is, but it's still very much a problem. There used to be a problem where when a ball was going out for a throw-in to your side, your player would sort of just kick it out. Just if they're chasing it, they're just going to keep going and they'll just kick it out, and it's really annoying. That's mostly gone. However, there is still a problem with the match engine where, let's say, a deep cross comes in. They're on the offensive. A deep cross comes in. It's gone over everybody's head. It's going miles out of play for a goal kick. Your defender, however, decides safety first, or safety second in this case. I'm going to head it back into an incredibly dangerous area, or head it out for a corner or a throw-in when it just would have been a goal kick, and they're just like panicked. But there's nobody near them. I can understand if you're being challenged or something, but there's nobody near them, and they just decide to sort of head it, and usually back into an incredibly dangerous area of the pitch. I just want to give them a slap. 4. So, number 4, it's not a problem with the match engine. It's not a bug. It's not anything wrong with the match engine. It's just one of those things you see, and as soon as it happens, you're like, oh God, here we go. Let me paint you a little picture. 0-0. You need a win to get in the playoffs, right? You're playing like 18th in the league, and you just need to get a goal. It's the last 10 minutes. You've been battering down the door the entire game, loads of half chances. Finally, you get a good build-up. It's a lovely passing move. A little cut back on the edge, little sweaty FIFA goal, little tap in. Finally, you found the breakthrough against a really tough side. My problem is the kickoff highlight, right? Again, no fault of the match engine. It happens. But it's so infuriating, especially in those sort of games when you're just... It's an easy game. You should have scored 4. You finally get the breakthrough. You go mad celebrating, and then instantly, kickoff highlight, back up the other end goal. They've done nothing all game, absolutely nothing all game, and suddenly they've turned into prime Barca and just bosh one in. And all that effort is gone for nothing. That just, like I said, not a problem with the match engine. It's realistic. It does happen. It's just really infuriating. 3. So, even in a list of a fictional football manager game, VAR is still a problem. Now, I don't have a problem with VAR as such in the game, because it works. In the game, it actually works. So actually, you could argue it's not a realistic football manager game because VAR's good and it gets the right decisions. So, do they need to make it worse to make it really? Okay, let's not get into that sort of can of worms. My problem, sometimes it happens. I think they fixed it sometimes. There's a big scuffle in the penalty box. Is it a penalty? Let's find out. After we watch the referee do a big sort of run to watch the screen on the halfway line. He does a big looping semicircle to get there, which you have to watch the entirety of. He watches an episode of Coronation Street and then walks back up to the centre circle and gives it... I don't need to see that ever. I don't need to see that ever. Okay? That doesn't break my immersion. I can just imagine him doing those things. Just cut that out and tell me what the decision is, please. Thank you. 2. Football Manager has come a long, long way. From somebody that used to play the original Championship Manager and all the episodes, all the games since, back into Dare, right? there was a problem because, you know, graphics didn't really exist at this point. I'm going way back here. I'm going in the way back machine, okay? The graphics were, let's say, limited. And there was only like 3 different goal highlights as to whether you scored or not, and you kind of knew what was coming. Now, Football Manager does a very good job of when I watch a highlight, the start of the highlight, I have no idea what's going to happen in that highlight. It could be a red card, it could be a shot on target, it could be a goal, it could be a penalty, it could be a corner, anything, right? You don't really get a sense of, oh, this is one of those goals. He's running down the right wing to the corner of the box, therefore it's a goal highlight. Doesn't really happen anymore. Almost. There is one type of highlight, and you're gonna, as soon as I say it, you're gonna go, yeah. It's the super long highlight, right? A highlight that starts off, let's say you're on the attack, and then you're like, okay, are we going to score here? Oh no, hang on, the ball's broken. It's a counter-attack. They've gone out the other end. Oh, hang on, no, goalkeeper saved it. Oh, the highlight hasn't ended. Goalkeeper's thrown it out. It's gone back out to the wing. Oh, at that point, there is a very high chance there's going to be a goal for some reason. The game, I don't know what it is in the programming. And maybe it's just me, but please tell me if I'm going mad or not. But I feel like at that point, one of those highlights that has like 4 different counter attacks or 3 different shots in the same thing, it's going to be a goal more often than not, which is the only time I ever feel that in Football Manager, that like this is it sort of thing. Other than being really negative, like you're 2-1 up in a cup final, you just feel like it's going to be a goal. But I mean, in the actual match engine, gives you clues to it being a goal. The super long highlights are always a danger. Now, the fabled number 1 spot. What do you think it's going to be? What is the most, for me, this is just my personal list, the most annoying thing that happens in Football Manager? And you are all, I am confident that you are all going to agree with me. 100% of you are going to agree with me. And that is penalties. Right? Not their existence. I understand the rules of the game. The amount of times that, let's say, the AI is on the attack and your defender just makes not even a tackle. The ball's just a little bit loose and he just hoofs it away next to the guy and it's a penalty. Or he makes a good tackle, pings the ball out for a corner and it's a penalty. Sometimes there's not even any contact and it's a penalty. Now the problem, like behind the curtain, is that obviously there's not enough animations to show a penalty. This is the crux of the matter. In the game, in the code behind the game, it's been decided that this is going to be a penalty, right? So it's not like a bug that it was a penalty. The penalty exists. Your guy did foul him, and it is a penalty. But the game doesn't have enough animations, or isn't, I don't know, I'm not going to pretend to be an expert, but isn't coded well enough, or isn't done correctly to show what a penalty looks like. Occasionally you'll get, a VAR decision and it says no penalty, and it's always like, oh my God, they've actually turned the decision over. But so many of the penalties, even with real life VAR, they would not give those penalties. And yet in the game, it happens so often. And even though I know that the game has given a penalty and it's the right decision in the code, it's been decided that that's a penalty. I know all these things, but when I see my player make an amazing sliding tackle or just a clearance or just get in front of the guy and knock it away and it gives a penalty, it is rage-inducing more than any other thing I've experienced in Football Manager. Absolutely rage-inducing. And I'm sure you all agree. Honestly, put in your top 5 in the comments. Surely penalties is number 1 for everybody. Like, I feel like it's the worst thing about the game. Maybe, is it the worst thing about the entire... It's probably the thing that annoys me most about the entire game. is the amount of dodgy penalties that just never in a million years look like penalties. Even David Coote would not give that penalty against Liverpool. Like, it's bonkers, right? So let me know in the comments your top 5. I think penalties will be on there for most people. I think the long highlights, I think a lot of people have a problem with. But is there anything I'm missing? Put your top... And it can be as personal as you like. It can be as petty as you so like, that you just want to just get it out of your system, okay? Feel free. This is a safe space, okay? Get it out of your system. Give me a top 5 in the comments below. I will be doing these sort of regular... because I've got a couple lined up. I like having a rant, you might have noticed. But there will be like top 5 best things as well coming out on the Fridays as well. So it's not just going to be negative stuff or things that annoy me, but I will be making more of these. If you've got any ideas for a top 5 that you want me to talk about, leave them in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you next week for another rant. Penalties are bollocks though, aren't they? They absolutely are irritating. I can shit. I was gonna swear, and then I decided not to, and then I thought, fuck it, I'll just swear. Brilliant. Really shit. They are so annoying.